Today, we're seeding our overwinter snapdragons for beautiful spring blooms. I have all the tools I need to get these seeds started right here, so let's jump to it. 288 wind strip tray, 288 plug popper and dibber, solid, undestructible bottom tray, our 288 broadcast seeder, and a humidity dome. First things first, let's go ahead and fill this 288. We give our tray a couple drops. That will settle the soil down, compacting it down to the base of each cell. And then we'll just take another handful of seed starting mix and run it right over top of all those cells so that we get a full cell. Take the 288, put it right on top of your bottom watering tray. Take your plug popper, we're gonna put it right over top of our 288. We're gonna give it a very light press. This is gonna create a small dimple right in the center of that cell and help compact that soil in the cell just a little bit more. Next, we're gonna take the broadcast seeder plate here and lay it right over top of the 288. This is going to align each one of the holes on the seeder right over top of the center of the 288 cell tray. Now, as we broadcast our seeds, we'll get 3 to 4 seeds per cell, which is exactly what we want for snapdragons. And as the seeds go into these cells here, they're kind of hitting the sides of the broadcast seeder, and it's acting like a funnel and pushing all the seeds right back down into those cells. This makes really short work of seeding a multi-sown plant like this that has such small seeds. Snapdragon seeds are surface sown, and we're gonna mist in this really well. This is gonna give us some moisture in the soil on the seed and create some good seed to soil contact. Once they're misted, we're gonna take the humidity dome, we're gonna pop it over top of our indestructible tray here, and this will go under our grow lights. In about 4 weeks, we'll see our first true leaves appear on our seedlings. We'll pot each one of these individual cells up into a 128 or a 72 before transplanting them out into one of our high tunnels. And today we're going to be potting up these snapdragons that we seeded to overwinter in our high tunnels for early spring blooms. We seeded these in a 288 wind strip, and we're going to pot them up into 72s. Now with this 288, it's going to take 4 72s to get this entire tray potted up. And the goal is to get them rooted into these 72s so that we can transplant them out into the tunnel in mid-October. The first thing we need to do is fill these 72s with potting soil. Because the 288 has such a small cell, it's pretty difficult to get those plugs popped unless you use these tools. So this is the 288 dibber or plug popper. We're going to take this tool and slide it right on top, and then we're going to put our tray right over top of that plug popper and slide right up and over top of the tray. We're going to push. So this plug popper is a really useful tool on the 288 because the 288 is a much shallower tray, and because of that, it does not have a lot of rigidity that your standard wind strip is going to have. And it allows you to apply even pressure around the entirety of that tray when you push down, and you get a beautiful plug to pop right out. So we'll lift the 288 off the plug popper here, set it aside, and I'm going to take my first 72, grab my 72 plug popper or dibber, and I'm going to use this one, and I push it down and I push it forward in every direction, and that opens up a perfect hole that is going to fit that 288 perfectly into this cell. And now the potting up process is pretty simple. I'm just selecting for the best looking snapdragons and weeding out the really tall leggy ones, and I just put them right down into that cell. Snapdragons can root off their stems, so you can definitely bury them deeper than you might think, and they will do just fine. I'm not being super selective with thinning out some of these snapdragons. I'm just kind of pushing them down in there, trying to save as much time as I can. And again, 5 seedlings in there, no big deal. That's my process, potting up snapdragons. This process is much quicker than pricking out. I don't know if you all have tried pricking out. That is what I've done historically. But this process of potting up in clumps like this after using the broadcast seeder is much more time efficient.